Life has a strange rhythm. One day, everything feels calm and predictable, and the next the winds start to rise suddenly without warning. You are standing in the middle of a storm. It could be a financial storm, a health storm, a relationship storm, or a storm in your own mind. And the truth is, the question is not if the storms will come, they will. The real question is, how steady will you be when they do? I have watched people go through the same storm, facing the same winds, but walking out with completely different results. One comes out stronger, wiser, and grateful. The other comes out bitter, broken, and defeated. What makes the difference? It is not the storm, it is steadiness, the ability to stay grounded while everything around you shakes. And here is the thing about steadiness: it is not luck. It is not a talent that a few people are born with. Steadiness is built. It is built through habits, choices, and consistent disciplines. It is built through philosophy, how you think when life refuses to go your way. But the most important part is this: steadiness is built before the storm arrives. You do not strengthen your foundation in the middle of a hurricane, you strengthen it in the quiet days. So when the storm shows up, you are ready. When I was in my 20s, I was not ready. Every setback knocked me down hard: a missed paycheck, a bit of criticism, a lost chance. Any little wave could throw me off course for weeks. I did not have a center. I was all reaction and no foundation. Later, I learned something powerful: if you do not anchor yourself to principles, you will always be at the mercy of circumstances, and the world has no shortage of circumstances. Think about a tree. A tree does not avoid storms, it endures them. If its roots run deep, the storm might bend it, but it will not break. If the roots are shallow, the first strong wind will tear it out of the ground. People are no different. Some live shallow, always chasing trends, gossip, or opinions. Others live rooted, grounded in values and discipline and purpose. That is the difference between breaking and bending. And I know when the storm is roaring, it is not easy to stay calm. Fear rises, doubt whispers, anxiety creeps in, but that is exactly when steadiness matters most. Anybody can look calm when the sea is still. That is not strength. Strength is proven when the waves hit hard, and you still stand firm. Steadiness buys you time when chaos tries to rush you, while others panic, react, or run in circles. Steadiness lets you breathe. It gives you room to think, to plan, to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. It does not mean you do not feel the storm. It means the storm does not control you, and the moment you realize the storm does not own you, something powerful happens. A quiet confidence begins to grow inside you. So let me ask you, where do you need more steadiness? In your finances, in your health, in your relationships, or in your emotions? Wherever the next storm might blow, that is where your roots must grow deeper. That is where you need discipline. That is where you need a steady hand on the wheel, because storms will keep coming. But if you have built steadiness, you will not just survive them, you will use them to grow. When tough times come, ask yourself, what am I built on? Because when life shakes, you do not rise to the occasion, you fall back on your foundation. And if that foundation is weak, the fall hurts. If it is strong, you might get shaken, but you will still be standing. What builds a strong foundation? One word: philosophy. It is not what happens to you, it is how you interpret it. Two people can face the same hardship. One says it is over, the other says it is a lesson. Who recovers faster? The one whose philosophy turns trouble into teaching. Because storms are not just obstacles, they are instructors. They reveal what you have ignored and strengthen what you have practiced. I once sat with a man who lost almost everything in a financial collapse. He told me, it feels like the storm took it all. I said, no, it only took what was never secure. What is left, that is your real foundation. Sometimes the storm strips away illusion and leaves truth, and truth, if you can face it, is something you can rebuild upon, stronger than before. So how do you build steadiness? Through daily disciplines, small acts that make you stronger than the chaos. When a financial storm hits, what keeps you steady? Budgeting, saving, living wisely. When a health storm hits, what keeps you steady? Eating right, resting well, moving daily. When discouragement hits, what keeps you steady? Feeding your mind with learning, reading, and uplifting voices instead of fear and negativity. Disciplines are roots. The deeper they go, the steadier you stand. People ask me, how do I stay calm when everything is falling apart? Here is the answer. You do not wait for calm to practice calm. If you cannot control your emotions in small matters, you will drown in big ones. Steadiness is like a muscle. It is built before the weight arrives. And remember, storms do not just test your strength, they test your character. Will you compromise your values under pressure? Will you cut corners? Or will you stand firm, even when it costs you? That is real steadiness, and people notice it. Your family, your friends, your team, they draw confidence from your calm. In stormy times, be that person. Once you have stood steady through one storm, the next one will not scare you. You will say, I have been here before, I can handle this. That is strength earned. No one can take it away. So do not resent the storm, respect it, use it. Let it show you what needs deeper roots. Let it remind you what really matters. Because when you walk out of the storm, you will be stronger than when you walked in. The battle is not just outside, it is inside. The outer storm can be fierce, but it is the inner storm that decides the outcome. If you Lose your calm, you lose your clarity, and when clarity is gone, bad decisions multiply. You do not make your best moves when you are emotional, you make them when you are steady and clear. The goal is not to erase emotion, that is impossible. The goal is to govern emotion, to let reason guide it, instead of letting emotion hijack reason. I once met a businessman who said, "I feel like I have lost everything." I asked what was the first thing he lost. He said, "My peace of mind." I told him, that is the most dangerous loss, because if you lose that, you will lose everything else, but if you regain it, you can rebuild it all. Peace of mind in a storm is essential. Feed your mind the right material. Do not drown in bad news. Do not surround yourself with complainers. Stay close to uplifting voices, good words, and positive thinkers. Ask yourself, will this matter 5 years from now? If not, stop giving it power. If yes, give it your best. Steadiness. Perspective shrinks the storm. Steadiness is courage. It is facing the storm honestly while protecting your peace. Do what you can control and release the rest. That is not weakness, that is wisdom. Preparation builds steadiness. You do not wait until the rain falls to fix the roof. You prepare when the skies are clear. Preparation gives confidence. When chaos hits, it is not luck, it is readiness. Financial steadiness comes from saving. Career steadiness comes from skill building. Emotional steadiness comes from reflection. Relational steadiness comes from communication. Do the quiet work before the storm, and when it comes, you will have peace instead of panic. If you have been caught unprepared, learn from it. Every storm teaches you how to be stronger next time. Patience is one of the greatest tests of steadiness. When storms hit, we want them gone, but storms move on their own schedule. If you rush, you make mistakes. If you wait wisely, you grow. Patience is not doing nothing, it is doing the right things while time catches up. Think of a sailor. He cannot command the sea to calm, but he can steer, adjust, and ride it out. That is steadiness. Not every storm destroys some, cleanse some. Shake loose what you no longer need, some redirect you to something better. Many people discovered their true path because of a storm. They could not see it until the rain cleared. That is why philosophy matters. If you see every storm as a disaster, you panic. But if you see it as a teacher, you stay steady long enough to learn. Consistency is vital. Patience without consistency is just waiting. Patience with consistency is growth. Keep doing the right things, even when results are slow. Keep saving. Keep exercising. Keep learning. Keep believing. Consistency turns struggle into progress. When you stop demanding that the storm end, it feels shorter because your focus shifts from panic to purpose. Do not measure your life by sunny days, measure it by how steady you remain. When the sky turns gray, storms come to everyone, but not everyone comes through them. The ones who come through stronger master patience, consistency, and perspective. They do not just survive, they evolve. That is the goal. Steadiness is not stillness, it is forward movement without panic. It is adjusting your sails without abandoning the ship. Passivity waits for calm. Steadiness creates calm. When the storm comes, do not ask, why me? Ask, what can I learn here? That shift changes everything. Storms do not last forever, but who you become in them lasts a lifetime. When the clouds clear, will you be bitter or will you be stronger, wiser, deeper? That is the choice. Decide today. Decide to be steady, not because it is easy, but because it is worth it. Grow roots deeper than the wind. Build values stronger than pressure. Sharpen skills sharper than obstacles. Storms are certain, but destruction is not. If you are steady, the storms will not define you. They will refine you. Stand steady. Be the calm in the chaos. And when the storm passes, you will still be standing, because steadiness is strength. Steadiness is maturity. Steadiness is victory.